Yeah, we got all sorts of news happening, and I'm actually going to start by popping up radar here across the Carolinas just to let everyone know we do have a few showers, few areas of heavy rain moving across the area. No severe weather tonight, although, this rain kind of made it cool in some place, only topping out in the 40s today in the Triangle, and that was a bit of a change of pace from where we've been. If you're like me here in the Charlotte area, you've been making sure you keep up with the allergy meds every day because today is the first day of spring, and certainly nature seems to have caught on to that and trying to ward off those allergies, and luckily doing so far pretty well on that. We had some breaking news this afternoon. We're going to roll some video footage here from Florida and Georgia. Hurricane Michael in October of 2018. I'm sure you remember it well, along with Hurricane Florence. The names Michael and Florence being retired from future use on tropical storms and hurricanes. The devastating storms, as you recall, loss of life throughout the southeast and destruction in several communities, particularly in the hardest hit areas of Florida, where Hurricane Michael came ashore, nearly wiping out some towns as a near Category 5 storm. And then we also, of course, had Florence here in the Carolinas in September, came ashore and just kind of moved very slowly as a hurricane and eventually a tropical storm over us and led to region wide flooding. Well, the World Meteorological Organization announced today that those names will no longer be used for future storms. They're being retired and replaced with Francine and Milton. And I think that was pretty much to be expected. We were just waiting for that official word to come on down, and now we do have it. On last week's show, we told you about the big storm moving over the central part of the United States. It came with several names, the bomb cyclone being one of them that picked up a hashtag and usage in the national media. Well, it was our own Chris Jackson who made a very good point that not only was it going to be a big flooding event, but also one that had some serious impact on agriculture, farmers, ranchers. Well, they're trying to clean up and figure out what to do. They got several inches of rain last week on grounds that were too saturated to handle it after a long winter with snow. And now they've got even more rain on the way. So they're trying to figure out what the economic impacts of this are and what the next steps are. Let's take a listen to some of this new video we got in today from Nebraska.
Right now, where our feedlots are just going through this horrific storm that we just had, and amongst many other feedlots and feeders and cattlemen across this state that was affected. But it's a loss of performance. The cattle are tired. They get sick easily. It really adds up quite a bit, and it's really hard on the people that work there and take care of it. Been a really tough deal. But there's so many other producers that even have it worse yet, trying to find their cattle and get to them and things like that. So there's multiple stories across this state of the devastation. What we really want to try to accomplish is it is a process to get federal disaster into this state and get it started. The biggest difficulty we have is like if the comment was made, if a tornado comes through and an hour later you can see the devastation, you know what it is. It's so hard at this point in time right now because we may not know for weeks the full extent of the damages.
And that's exactly right. It will be a little while longer before we know the exact extent of the damage. And you can see in this video here that they're just trying to repair the infrastructure as the military now coming in to assist with repairs in the communities. And I think what we're looking at here is a video of sandbagging after several dam failures and roadway failures and just trying to get a handle on all of this water. And you can see that here in this video, because we've got more rain on the way, and this is not only an event isolated to Nebraska, but we have flood warnings up and down the entire Mississippi River Basin, because now all of this water has to flow south before eventually entering the Gulf of Mexico. So it'll be another week or so before this is all said and done. And just take a look at these satellite imageries. Look at that very well-defined waterway on the left side of the screen there, and just look how it swells on the right-hand side. And some of this is farmland, but some of this is also communities that are being impacted. And so our thoughts are with all those folks out in the central part of the United States that are continuing to recover from this as this disaster continues and is ongoing. Shifting gears now, take a look at this video. North Carolina native flying on the International Space Station tonight. NASA astronaut Christina Cook arrived this week in a launch and docking that you saw right here on the Carolina Weather Group live channel. Christina, along with NASA astronaut Anna McClain, who you can also see there on the left-hand side of your screen, are scheduled to perform the first all-female spacewalk on March the 29th. That will also be on our live channel. Now, Expedition 59 here, one of the last flights that the United States is hoping to hitch with the Russians to and from the International Space Station, because that SpaceX program is coming together, and we're hoping that in the not too distant future, we'll be able to launch ourselves from U.S. soil to and from the International Space Station. Well, special congratulations going out tonight to the Charlotte Douglas International Airport here in Charlotte on their achievement of becoming a storm-ready community, seen here being presented with that certification by the National Weather Service in Greenville, Spartanburg. That is certainly good news. I will be flying out of there in a few weeks, and you've seen it in the airport there and in other places as well, too. They have those storm shelters that are designated so that if severe weather is ever coming through the area while you're in the terminals, you've got a place to go.